Hello, everyone. Hey, guys. Hey, guys. It's me, Kirsten, and this is the It's Giving Mystical podcast. And this is your podcast for the week ahead, the week of June 12th. June 12th. Okay. So, where are we? June Tower lovers. Listen, we're going to talk about this all month. There's just a lot of energy. A lot of energy. And it's like, yes, there's a lot happening around everyone, but it's like a ground energy. It's this bubbling, crackling, transformative energy in the ground itself. And it can feel a little bit destabilizing. Tower energy is always going to feel a little destabilizing. And like I said before, lovers can also feel, in certain aspects, can also feel really destabilizing. So we kind of have this 2 steps forward, 1 step back. And then this idea of holding more than you have. And I was talking about one of my daughters, and she just actually, both my daughters have been so emotional. But one of my daughters is going through a pretty big transition this month. And watching her is just a masterclass in empathy for myself and for everyone else. It's just so hard to be human. Like, there's so many things happening at once in a human system. And there's, what, 8 billion of us? There's like 8 billion of us trying to navigate these whole cosmos in our own system and feeling all of the beauty of the moment and all of the tenderness of the moment. And this death week, this past week, I felt like it was a good one. I hope it was a good one for you too. I hope the death card felt less like a dramatic ending and more like a clearing away of the delusion, the confusion, the things that, we're just very capable creatures at making sense, even when things don't make sense. And so the image of this house of cards is a really interesting one, because it's like, okay, I constructed this for a reason. It took time and patience to set this up just so. And even though I knew it was built unsustainably, even though I knew it wasn't going to survive a good wind, there was something in that process of construction that was teaching me, that I was working with, that I was processing something, working something out in. And this week, watching it collapse, I hope, felt less like oh my God, this thing that I was relying on collapsing, and more like, okay, that process is done. Whatever I was trying to work out, whatever I was trying to figure out by assembling those paper structures, it's complete now. And this idea of hunger keeps coming back, like hungry for something more substantial. This might have satiated you for a little while. It might have kept you busy or occupied, or again, helped you process something, helped you work something out. But what you're seeking is something realer, something truer, this green shoot, this something with more sustenance, more vitality. And every time I see it, it's not like a baby shoot coming through. It's like, it looks like a peony shoot. Do you know what I'm talking about? How they're red when they first poke through the surface. This one's green, but it's like thick. It's substantial. The shoot itself having some real substance to it, a beautiful bright green to it, a thickness to it. It feels like something that's meaty. It's kind of a weird thing to say about a root, but that's the way it feels in the image that I keep seeing. And I say it all the time, but it can't hurt to say it again. It just bears repeating that there's something important about where your energy, the things that you're fixating on, the things that you're trying to work out, not because necessarily that's the problem area or that's the thing you need to work out, but because there's some kind of energy trapped in that. So something occupies our mind, a project, a relationship, a conversation, an idea, an environment, and we can get fixated on it, this idea. And so much of where we get ourselves in trouble is then we just execute the idea, or we just like move towards the relationship, or we have the conversation, versus getting curious about what is unlocked inside of that. What is the thing inside of that I'm actually trying to understand? And so back to these houses of cards, and it was many houses of cards, even if you didn't achieve the thing from the house of cards, even if it didn't get you X, whatever the plan was, the dream is, the desire is, there was something in the process itself that was valuable. There was something in the process itself that needed to be understood, that you needed to become through. So it's like you can have all the ideas of what you want to do differently or how you want to be or what you're, again, hoping to manifest, hoping to become a vibrational match with. But sometimes we have to walk the path. Sometimes we have to, most of the time, we have to walk the path to really embody the understanding of what is possible. My trainer and I were talking about this. There's a woman, Kat, here in town who does myofascial release. She's really, really good at what she does. Highly recommend her if you don't already know her or that's something you've ever been interested in. But my trainer and I were talking about, because my trainer, Mackenzie, who I also adore, is brilliant with my body. She can help me. She's helping me get strong in ways that I never knew I needed to be strong. She's helping me unlock muscle chains or even neural pathways, helping me relax and process things in my nervous system. And all of this is happening on a somatic level. It's all happening on a physical body level. It's really interesting. I don't even need to really understand what's going on, but I can feel the release and the strength and the power that's unlocked through this work. And Mackenzie does that for me. But then Kat did that for Mackenzie. And Mackenzie was like, because we were talking about it, and she was like, oh, I didn't even realize X. And I was like, isn't it interesting how we can do our work all day long and be so dedicated to something and so passionate about something, but it often takes an outside perspective, or it often takes moving, like building a house of cards, like working something out to get to a place where you can actually come around the other side and see clearly. And that's why I'm a huge advocate of women, and men working with men for sure, co-ed communities for sure, but women working with women. There's something about finding women you trust who can look at you and say, I see this. This is also possible, because we just don't know what we don't know. And we need way showers, and we need wisdom keepers, and we need medicine women, however they bring their medicine, to sit with us and say, I see more for you. I see what's possible in this aspect, this dimension of your life. There's something about that, this death energy that is working with that is offering that up. So whatever fell apart this past week, whatever redirected this past week, aho to that was valuable. That way of moving, operating, building, creating was valuable. And now I'm looking for something hardier. That's like the energy. Okay, so the card I pulled for us this week is the 9 of Wands, the Wounded Warrior card. I wasn't thrilled to see it. I was like, oh, this feels a little heavy, a little exhausting. But I guess what I want to say is it's okay if you're tired this week. It's okay if there's a little bit of a fatigue, a calm down. There's so much energy moving through the system, and things are different than they were. And it's totally valid if there's a part of you that's fatigued. It's completely valid if there's a part of you that's like, I don't know if I can trust this new shoot. I don't know if I can trust this new way of moving, way of being, this new knowledge about myself or the world. It's okay. So that the opportunity is to, again, reorient with the Wounded Warrior, not as I have to be hypervigilant and I don't even know what's going to come down the pike and I'm ready for the next battle, to this sense of, you know what? I know who the fuck I am. I have gotten here, survived all the days so far, survived all the days so far by, the grace of God, by my own resilience and my own fortitude and my own creativity, by my community, by having strong people around me. And those things won't fail me now. So whatever you need, notice this week the tension around it's on me, or I've done this before, or this was hard in the past, or I have to prepare myself for the bad outcome. I have to protect my heart by keeping my levels steady in terms of expectation, in terms of, we talk about this in women's work a lot. There's something, when you're in your kind of relaxed feminine energy, the energy is moving through your root, through your sacral, and there's just this kind of like ease and flow and pleasure and creativity and abundance to your movements. Our culture doesn't operate that way. So a lot of what's asked of particularly feminine beings, more people who feel themselves as more feminine beings in the world, is we've gotten very good at redirecting that energy. We kind of lift it into these upper chakras. We become more rational, coherent, able to explain, able to power ourselves in a singular, linear, active, alert mindset. And while we're great at that, we can move that energy any way we need to. We're incredibly creative beings. There's an exhaustion to that. There's a fatigue to that. And so this wounded warrior is coming in a way of like, what if it's all okay? Like, what if things are different now and you can actually have a little bit of a wider lens, a little more curiosity about, wow, it didn't necessarily go so well in the past. I'm not going to take that lesson or that frame and apply it to the future. I'm going to say, I trust myself. So even if it all goes to hell in a handbasket, even if I get dropped, even if I get disappointed, even if it doesn't work out, I'm still with me. I'm okay. I mean, it might not feel good, but I got this. And the reason I'm gonna like hope anyway, trust anyway, desire anyway, slow down anyway, is because I want to see what else might be possible. I don't know what I don't know. I don't know what I don't know. And this week, the fatigue can kind of collapse us into a sense of, well, it's not going to work out, or, well, I've seen this show before. I know how this song ends. And there's a little bit of an opportunity of like, do you? And what else? And what if it's different now? And how does the world show up differently now? And most importantly, what if it's not a battle anymore? What if there's some dimension of your life where it's actually meant to kind of unlock and move into ease? And what would that look like? I pulled some supporting cards because honestly, I pulled this card and I was like, dude, nobody wants a wounded warrior. Ixnay on the wounded warrior. And everything I got spoke to community and celebration and collaboration and co-creation. So I do think that there's something about the contrast between the rote, the kind of, what do you call it, like the habitual movement, the sense of, I got to lock in and get through this, versus a sense of, what if I meet this again with a beginner's mind? What if, just because I've seen this stage before, I've seen this set before, doesn't mean I actually know how the story ends, doesn't mean I actually know what's coming down the lane. And who do I become when I trust myself to relax enough to meet life moment to moment, to just check myself on some of the internal dialogue saying, well, you know how this is going to go, or, well, you know how this is going to disappoint you, or, well, like, don't count on that to work out. If you can kind of just check those voices, just notice where those kind of bubble up. And it's a Gay Hendricks thing, like, why rob yourself of the joy before the joy even arrives? What if you could trust that something is taking its shape, something is coming into view, something is trying to create itself with your participation, with your energy, with your, participation. And it's not about you making it all happen. It's not about you fighting every battle. It's about you staying open enough to say, like, oh, I wonder how it's going to work out this time. I wonder what else might be possible. I wonder how it might be different now. There's something really beautiful about that. So I offer that to you. The only other thing that comes through is, don't cut yourself off from receiving before, like, it's like you might have this thought, well, it's all on me in some dimension, and someone's actually trying to help you. Someone's actually trying to come and offer you really material assistance. And there's a way in which you're already armed against it. You're already like, well, it's up to me. I have to do it by myself. And there's a little bit of an invitation here of like, where are you missing the gift? Where are you missing what someone's trying to offer you, what the universe is trying to offer you? There's some way in which you're actually trying to be taught a lesson about not having to do it all by yourself. And so before you kind of close the gates and are like, well, I'm gonna do it all by myself, just notice where that's habitual, or that's from, wounds of the past. And where can I kind of soften and say, wait, let me just keep my eyes open on the horizon for a minute and see what help might be arriving here. Okay, so 9 of Wands. The other good thing about the 9 of Wands is that we're coming to some kind of culmination. So it's not the death card, but it is a transformation around how we're holding our fire energy, how we're holding our sexuality, our creative spark, our fire. And there's something about that that is in process of like rebirthing. So just notice that there's some old kind of habit or thought that's going to bubble up, and your opportunity this week is to say, what else is possible? What else might be? I send you so much love. And new moon in Gemini, work with that, this energy. I think things are moving into retrograde this week. I think Venus is moving into Leo this week. So whatever of those kind of speaks to you or gets your attention, feel free to work with those energies. And somebody was saying this new moon or this last full moon, but I think this new moon as well, it is speaking to something that happened in early December of 2025. So if there's a line you might want to draw there. And otherwise, new moon in Gemini, it should be a great time for feeling hopeful about your voice, about communication, about connection, about the things that are kind of waking you up and percolating in your mind. So what does that look like for you? Okay, gang, tender times, energetic times, like there's just a lot happening on a lot of different dimensions, and it requires something of you. So that's the fatigue, that's the exhaustion, is to just acknowledge that living, being human, trying to operate, trying to stay steady, it requires something of us. And sometimes that's more tiring than we want it to be, and that's okay. Just want to be good to ourselves and like honor these little beautiful bodies we were given, and rest when you need to. Okay, bye.